Alright, nephews. Welcome to Scroll 96. It's your favorite unk. It is currently 4:10 p.m., and I'm sitting here at work. Before I get into anything, make sure you follow the scrolls wherever you're listening. And if you're on Spotify, leave a rating. That helps this thing grow. But anyways, bro, my MacBook is still fucked. Apple still got my shit. I haven't been able to post anything in over a week. Coming up on 2 weeks. And I ain't gonna lie. That shit is irritating me. Because I was rolling, bro. I had momentum. I was posting. I was consistent. I was in that mode. And then boom. My MacBook said, "You know what? Nigga, no." Now I'm sitting here creatively constipated. Thoughts backed up. Videos not edited. DFL in the waiting room. And it's weird because part of me feels like this is fucking up my rhythm. But another part of me feels like maybe this is God forcing me to sit still. Maybe this is a forced reflection period. Maybe this is the universe saying, "Hey bro, you've been moving fast. Breathe." And I hear that. But also, I need Premiere Pro, Lord. Let's not get too spiritual. So I gotta figure something out. Because deep-fried logic can't be dependent on one machine. The mission cannot stop because Apple got my laptop in intensive care. The scrolls continue. Unk continues. The thoughts continue. And speaking of things I need to do before time runs out. Bro, I've been thinking. I'm 25 years old. I might be at the peak of my athleticism right now. Like deadass. This might be the strongest, fastest, most explosive version of me I'm ever gonna be. And that's scary. Because one day, I'm gonna wake up, and my knees are gonna sound like somebody stepping on a bag of chips. One day, I'm gonna jump, and only my spirit is gonna leave the ground. So while I still got bounce in my body and stupidity in my heart, I need to do something. I need to try pro wrestling. Deadass. Or cage fighting. Or something physical. Something stupid. Something where I can use this body while I still got athleticism in my bones. Because imagine being a lifelong WWE fan and never learning how to take a bump. That's ridiculous. Imagine loving wrestling your whole life and never having one match. Never getting thrown into the ropes. Never cutting one promo. Never hitting somebody with a clothesline. That's nasty work. Unk needs at least one match. Just one. Let me come out to some ridiculous entrance music. Let me point at the crowd. Let me lose in 7 minutes because my cardio is fried. But at least I did it. Anyway, bro. Let me catch y'all up on my life. I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And honestly, nothing too crazy happened on those work days. Because work days eat your whole life. You wake up. Go to work. Pretend to care. Come home. Be tired. That's not a day. That's a hostage situation with direct deposit. But Saturday after work, that's when life started doing that thing again. I get off around 5. Come home. Heat up an old slice of pizza. Sitting there like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do today? Because I'm still trying to keep this summer energy alive. Stay outside. Stay moving. Keep my world big. Then out of nowhere, I get a text from my neighbor. And this nigga says, "Come outside, nigga. We at the grill." Now, nephews, that is not a text. That is a spiritual summons. That is the universe using iMessage. That is God saying, "Get your ass off the couch." And what's crazy is, several scrolls ago, I told y'all I finally spoke to my neighbor. Just a simple hello. A small interaction. Nothing crazy. And now look. This nigga inviting me to functions. That's why you gotta speak to people. You never know what small door you're opening. So I go outside. And nephews, this was a black function. Like a real black function. At my apartment complex. Grill going. Music playing. Couples everywhere. R. Kelly on the speaker. Which was crazy. Morally confusing. But sonically effective. So I walk up. Introduce myself. "How y'all doing? I'm Unk." And it's like 3 couples there. Then me. Single-ass stallion standing by the grill. I'm third-wheeling the whole cookout, but it's cool. Because I'm outside. I meet this one dude who looked like he played football. And he did. You can tell when some niggas played football, because they got that faraway look in their eyes. I remember I used to call myself headless, because I would hit you with no regard for my head. This nigga played headless too. You could tell. Cool dude, though. Then I meet another guy from Chicago. And basically everybody else there is from Chicago. So I'm the Nashville representative. At first, I'm mostly talking to my neighbor because that's my entry point. But then I told myself, nah, bro. You came outside. Actually, be outside. So I pull up a chair next to everybody else and just sit down. I ask, "Where y'all from?" And boom, conversation starts. That's the leap right there. Sometimes social confidence ain't some big dramatic thing. Sometimes it's literally just pulling up a chair. Then somebody pulls out adult Uno. And nephews, if there is one game that can unite and destroy a black household at the same time, it's Uno. Everybody loves Uno. But black people play Uno different. Before the game even starts, we gotta argue about the rules. Can you stack draw 2s? Can you stack draw 4s? Can you put a draw 4 on a draw 2? Can you jump in? Can you play your last card without saying Uno? These are not small issues. These are constitutional matters. The way I grew up playing, if somebody put down a draw 2 and you had a draw 2, you could put yours on top. Now the next person picking up 4, unless they got one too. One time, me and my sister got into a draw card war. Draw 2, draw 4, draw 2, draw 4. By the time it got back to me, nigga, I had to pick up 18 cards. 18. At that point, that's not Uno. That's bullshit. But that's the beautiful part. We all arguing, laughing, talking shit. And instantly, chemistry is built. That's one of the cool parts about culture. Some rooms, you don't have to explain the rhythm. Everybody already knows the song. And I don't always get to experience that. Especially with the way I be living. So that felt good. Hold on, nephews. I'm looking out the window right now. Good Lord. I just saw a fine woman walk by. Summer is a dangerous time. Booty shorts, straight hair, tan skin. Lord have mercy. Anyway, back to the story. So after Uno, we eat. Everybody vibing. Then my neighbor's girlfriend invites another girl over. She pulls up late, by herself. And immediately I notice, oh, she's single. Or at least she arrived single. And mind you, I'm surrounded by couples. They kissing, touching, being happy. I'm sitting there like, damn, where my kiss at? Unc deserves affection too. So I say, you know what? Let me go talk to her. I walk up, shake her hand. How you doing? I'm Unc. She tells me her name. But for the sake of this scroll, we're gonna call her Kiki. Because bro, this girl reminded me of Kiki Palmer to the fullest. Same animated energy. Same kind of funny. Same, you are clearly a character aura. So she asks me where I'm from. I say Nashville. She immediately scrunches her face like, you're from Nashville? I said, you better chill out. You live here too, optionally. She says she's from Atlanta. So naturally I say, you. Even though low-key y'all know I love Atlanta. But this is banter. This is how we build. At first I'm thinking, okay, she might be a little hood, a little ratchet, not usually my type. But I can talk to anybody. And bro, this girl was hilarious. Like genuinely hilarious. We start going back and forth, flirting, talking shit, laughing. And somehow the conversation gets deep fast. She starts telling me about her life. How she was engaged to a woman. How she's bisexual. All this other stuff. And I'm sitting there like, damn. We just met 10 minutes ago and we already in season 3. But that's how some people are. Direct. She asked me if I'm single. And I tell her the truth. I said, yeah, I'm single. I ain't looking though. I'm just outside stumbling. And honestly, that might be the thesis of my life right now. I'm just outside stumbling. Because I don't think you find love by hunting it down like a bounty. I think you stumble into it. You live. You wander. You go to random cookouts. You pull up chairs. You play Uno. You say yes to the grill. And then boom, you meet somebody. So I told her, I'm just outside stumbling. That's why I got this drink in my hand. And she understood exactly what I meant. Then she pulls out these Casamigos canned drinks and starts introducing the flavors like she's hosting a game show. She goes, first we have wonderful guava. I said, okay. Then she goes, then we have manly mango. I said, ah yes. Then she says, and then we have passion fruit. Nigga, I cut her off fast as fuck. I said I'll take that one, because I am a man of passion. And without missing a beat, she says, yes, and I am a woman who's fruity. And at that moment I said, nah, she one of them ones. That is elite timing. Professional level foolishness. So we kicking it, laughing, vibing. And I'm realizing again, my chemistry with black girls is just different. Especially if you grew up in that southern black household rhythm. The jokes land faster. The references don't need subtitles. The foolishness connects immediately. So the night keeps going. We exchange Instagrams, walk toward her car. Everything cool. Then the group wants to play another game. At first, it was one of them freaky games. And let me say this. These adult card games have gotten absolutely ridiculous. Like bro, the first card we pulled said something absolutely insane like, pull your dick out and slap the person next to you with it. Nigga, what? Absolutely not. Not in this economy. Not with this many dudes in the room. That is not a group game. This is an orgy starter. That is a private island game. That is a 1-man 7-women game. Not a community building exercise, so we put that game away immediately. We play another question game instead. Much safer. Still unhinged, but safer. One of the questions was, would you drink a gallon of public toilet water for $100,000? Nigga, yes. Immediately, yes. I don't even need the full question. We got niggas in Flint drinking toilet water for free. I hope y'all good though. But for 100 bands, I'm drinking that toilet water with purpose. So that whole night ended up being cool. A random cookout turned into Uno. Uno turned into Kiki. Kiki turned into banter. Banter turned into another story. And all of that happened because I answered one text. Come outside, nigga. That was the whole portal. The next day, I went back down to Murfreesboro. My boy hit me up and asked if I wanted to watch the UFC fights. So I drove down there. He got the baby at home now. Fiancé, house. Whole life. Now he's hiding a vape from his wife like a teenage boy hiding candy. We were sneaking hits off this vape, and I'm pretty sure she caught us like 3 or 4 times. She didn't say anything. But she knew. Women always know. We watched the fights, and then this one fighter says some wild shit about Michelle Obama. Called her a man. And bro, I hated that. Because at this point, it's not even a joke. It's clout chasing. It's tired. It's racist. And it's corny. Michelle Obama literally does nothing to nobody. She just exists. And people stay calling her a man, calling her a gorilla, all that weird shit. And I hate that, because she looks like regular black women I've known my whole life. So on the way home, I FaceTime one of my white friends. I tell him what happened. I'm like, bro, Joe Rogan looked pissed when dude said that. And my friend goes, man, Joe Rogan is a pussy for getting mad. And I ain't gonna lie, that disappointed me. Because I love my friend. That's my boy. But the older I get, the less tolerance I have for white ignorance like that. We continue talking. And this man didn't even know what Juneteenth was. And I'm like, bro, how do you not know what Juneteenth is? Then I thought, well, you don't really have black people in your life. Not for real. So of course you don't see certain things. Of course certain jokes don't register. Of course you think everything is everybody being sensitive. Because nobody ever taught you where the line is. And that brought me back to college. Being in these super white spaces. Hearing conservative jokes. Borderline racist jokes. People laughing like it's nothing. And when you're younger, sometimes you just let it slide. But the older I get, the more I'm like, nah bro, that's just racist. Call it what it is. And I told him that. I said, bro, that's racist. Now I don't know how he took it. Maybe he thinks I'm being liberal. Maybe he thinks I'm overreacting. Maybe he heard me. Who knows? But I'm not cutting my friend off over that. Because honestly, if I don't tell him, who will? We might not always see eye to eye on certain things. Because I was raised in the culture. He wasn't. But that's also why friendship matters. Sometimes somebody needs to hear it from somebody they actually love. So that was that. Then Monday comes. I'm off work. And I wake up with all these ideas about what I might do. Then I look outside. And I see women by the pool. Fine women. And instantly, plans canceled. I turned into Johnny Bravo. I said, oh yeah, the stallion has been summoned. So I go to Publix first and buy sunscreen. Because one thing the stallion cannot do is get sunburned. I may be outside, but I am not irresponsible. Then I come back, set up shop at the pool. And I'm trying to master the art of going to the pool by myself. Which is harder than it sounds. Because the pool is weird. Some people are there to socialize. Some people are there to be left alone. Some people got headphones in. Some people with friends. Some people don't want no random emotional palomino walking up, talking about, how y'all doing? So I go out there with my notebook. I'm like, okay, I'll write. If I talk to somebody, cool. If not, cool. At least I'm in the vicinity of the Huzz. That counts. I see one girl I want to talk to, but there's no natural opening. Nothing happens. She leaves. And I'm sitting there like, okay, back to the lab. This is a logistics issue. I need a pool conversation starter. Maybe snacks, candy, chips, peanuts. Something simple. Like, hey, y'all want some? Even if they say no, the door opened. We'll workshop it. But the concept is there. Because sometimes game is not about being smooth. Sometimes game is preparation. Anyway, after the pool, I decide I want sushi. Then I'm like, let me see what Moonlight talking about. So I text her. You want to get sushi? She says yes. We walk over. Eat sushi. Cool little vibe. Then she asks if we can go to the pool. And I'm like, I literally just came from the pool. But also, what else am I doing? So we go. And she brings a friend. And bro, when I tell you they were in that pool acting like a music video, I'm just sitting there like, wow. Look at God. Nighttime pool vibes. Ass was being thrown from wall to wall. Music. Foolishness. Summer. It was a scene. Then we go back inside. Everybody talking about Love Island. Now I feel like I'm too late to get into Love Island. Everybody already got lore. Everybody already got favorites. Everybody already knows who's toxic. I'm not about to jump into episode 37 and pretend I understand the kingdom. So we watch reality TV. Pop some popcorn. Just chill. And then she asks if she can spend the night. And honestly, my initial response was like, oh fuck no. But then my meat was like, are you sure, nigga? So yeah, she spent the night. I didn't mind, because I genuinely enjoy hanging out with her. That's the thing. It ain't just attraction. It ain't just chaos. It's easy. We can sit there and do nothing. We can be bored around each other. And if you can be bored around somebody and still be comfortable, that means something. Because not everybody gives you peace. Some people require constant entertainment, constant talking, constant performance. But with her, it's just calm. And I know people might hear this and say, Unc, you need a girlfriend. Maybe. Possibly. But I'm also exploring right now. And I don't want to make one person my whole world. That's the key. She gives warmth. She makes me feel cared for in a way. And for a nigga that's always trying to be strong, always trying to be real, always trying to be tough, sometimes it feels good to be held. I'm not ashamed to say that. A woman's warmth will do something to your nervous system. But I also can't be a fool. I can't just start building castles in my head. I can enjoy the present without trying to own the future. Because one thing about women, when they feeling you, they feeling you. But when they not, it can feel like fuck you. So I'm enjoying it while it's here. The next morning, I make breakfast for myself. And she's like, oh my God, I feel so special. You made breakfast for me?" And I'm like, "No, this is just Tuesday. This is what I do." And she called me an asshole. But she laughed. Because that's the thing. I'm not doing anything fake. I'm not performing boyfriend. I'm not creating some fantasy world. She's just stepping into my normal life. And that's the power of bringing somebody into your world. If I already cook breakfast, and you're there, you can have some bacon, nigga. If I already watch basketball, and you're there, we watching basketball. If I already go outside, and you're there, come outside. That's different than trying to build your whole life around somebody. We had some deep conversations, too. And honestly, I don't have much negative to say about her. Now, would I jump into something serious? Probably not. She still has things to figure out. But the connection feels real at times. After I drop her off, I text my sister. I'm like, I need some big sister time. Because sometimes you need somebody who knows you outside of all your delusions. My sister is like me, but funnier, and married, and tired. So we link up, talk about life. I tell her about the stripper dilemma, the ex-situationship, work, where I'm headed, what I'm trying to figure out. And she tells me about marriage, new husband dynamics, kids, being tired, trying to make sense of her own world. And that shit was good. Then I pick up my nephew from summer camp. And bro, my nephew thinks I'm so cool, which is hilarious. Because I'm really just his uncle with bills and anxiety. But to him, I'm like a superhero with a PlayStation. So I ask him if he wants to come by my crib and play the game before I take him home. Of course he says yes. I bring him over. We play college football. And naturally, I beat his ass. I love him, but I'm not letting him win. Life is hard, lil nigga. Learn now. But it was cool because it was his first time seeing my apartment, seeing how his uncle lives. And I hope he remembers that. I hope one day he looks back and thinks, yeah, my uncle was kind of doing something. So I take him home, see the family, and it was just a good Tuesday. And that's where I'm at right now, nephews. Life has been moving fast. These last few weeks, really, these last few months, feel like everything's sped up. But it's summer. This is what summer is for. Being outside, making stories, meeting people, having random nights, keeping your world big, and we're already halfway through June. That's insane. Summer is flying. So I don't want to take this for granted. I'm hanging out with this girl, and I enjoy her, but I don't want her to become my whole world. I can't do that. The point is to keep expanding, keep growing, keep stumbling, keep living. And speaking of keeping the world big, I started the Deep Fried Logic Discord. And if you made it this far into this scroll, if you've listened through 95 of these things, you deserve to be in it. I'm not opening it to the full public yet. I'm not promoting it everywhere yet. Because I want the foundation to be strong. I want the culture established before we open the floodgates. So if you're listening right now, DM me the word Discord, and I'll send you the invite. This is for the real nephews, the thinkers, the overthinkers, the optimistic niggas, the people whose lives don't stop, the people trying to build something, the people who want community, the people who understand what Deep Fried Logic is becoming. Because I really think we can build one of the coolest Discords in the world. But it starts with the right people. Real ones first. Culture first. Family first. So yeah, bro. That's my life. That's what's been going on. MacBook broken. World expanding. Neighbors grilling. Kiki from Atlanta. UFC racism conversations. Pool strategy. Stripper girl sleepovers. Big sister talks. Nephew video games. Discord building. This shit is a lot. But it feels like I'm walking into who I'm supposed to be. And that's a responsibility I don't take lightly. Deep Fried Logic is becoming something real. Something legendary. Something bigger than me. And I'm gonna keep building it. So with that being said, do the right thing. Keep God first. Be a real nigga. And don't stop. Because once you stop, your dreams stop. Have a good day or night, nephews. Unc loves you.